What's going on, everybody? We are live. It's another Saturday morning. It's the Popecast going live, of course, to answer your guys' questions, to talk some movie news. And the best thing about this is I always like to bring on a guest. And my guest this week is a fantastic critic. He's one of those ones that just always has like the most great content out there. And that is Griffin from Filmspeak. Griffin, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty great, man. Thank you for having me on, and I'm looking forward to talking movies and stuff.
Same, man. Same. It's gonna be fun. And just like last week, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It does help out the channel. It does help out with the algorithm as well. Make sure to throw into the chat your questions. We'll be getting to those later in the show. And of course, the biggest thing as well with this is make sure to head on over to Griffin's channel and hit that like and subscribe button over there. I think you just put up an Extraction review, correct?
Yeah, that's my most recent one.
Nice, yes. And you loved it, right? You loved it.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking great. I mean, we were talking about this like when you watched it, and it was just it's like watching one of those like modern warfare games come to life. Especially that like 12-minute sequence.
Dude, it's incredible.
It's
I've been seeing some hate for it, and I'm like, how do you like,
what do you expect?
Yeah, that's my thing. I was like reading the reviews, and then I go and see like they like John Wick, and I'm like,
yeah.
You know, I guess the only thing John Wick does have is the mythology. You know what I mean? Like that's the cool thing about it. So, it's whatever at this point, man.
Right, but at the same time, it's like the mythology and like how like they keep like building upon it is like also something that is, you know, what has been irritating people. So it's like, yeah, I don't even know like why, because they're both like likable enough protagonists, right? And like they both go on like emotional enough journeys. I mean, granted, John Wick goes on a little bit more of a personal one in the first film, but like still, like,
but even like 2 and 3, I mean, are just straight up action films. Like,
exactly.
They're a little bit of still, but like even three's just straight action.
Up, yeah, and it's just action and lore,
and that's my thing. So I don't really know. You guys should definitely check out Extraction. It's easily one of the best Netflix films. It's so good. Like Sam Hargrave, I want to see what this guy does next. What do you think he does next? Like, do you think he continues to work with the Russo brothers?
I mean, like, I think it's possible for sure. Well, actually, I won't even say it's possible. I think it's likely. They probably will help him get his next couple films made until he can eventually like go off on his own and do stuff. I mean, I think this film alone, like, is enough of a resume builder paired with like his previous stunt work to like go out and do like a big studio action movie, you know? So
what would you want to see him do next? Obviously an action film, but like, would you want to tackle an original thing or like go into a franchise?
No, I want to see him keep doing like these just mid-budget action films, because like he seems to have a knack for it, and he seems to know how to utilize a modest budget. So it's like, keep him in this department. If he strikes a deal with Netflix to do like more of these movies, that's all the better.
Yeah, and to be honest, I know they keep talking about this Raid remake that they want to do with who's the director that's doing it? The Gray, the guy who did The Gray.
Oh yeah, Joe Carnahan.
Yeah, I don't care for him to do it. I would rather this guy go and do it, because I mean, I like Joe Carnahan's movies. They're whatever, but I've never looked at them and been like, he's the action guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. It's kind of weird in that part, but let's just get straight into some of the stuff.
Sure.
I want the audience to get to know a little bit more about you. So kind of just sum up. Like, you don't even have to sum up. You can do a long story if you want. How'd you get into this space, man?
How did I get into this space? So if anyone has followed me for like since the beginning or like a couple years after the beginning, you know that I used to run a YouTube channel called Men versus Movies, and that was myself and like 3 or 4 of my good friends, and I started it when I was in college. And basically, like, from there, you know what happens, like, people kind of like fall out, they lose interest, and like the people who really want to do it are the people who kind of stick with it. And so, surprise, I was the guy who really wanted to keep doing it. And so I, you know, just continued to stick with it. And then eventually, like last year, I kind of just didn't think that the branding and the name and everything just really fit my channel and like what I,
because it was just you pretty much, right?
It's just me. And it was like the whole point of it was initially to be around like friends talking about movies. And so I just like, you know, focused the channel and made it more about me and then called it Filmspeak. So I just originally started doing it because it was like, you know, I watched like a lot of the people that most of you guys watch. I watch Chris Duckman, Jeremy Johns, Schmoes, Campia. And I'd always watch like the how-to videos on like how to get involved in this space, like how to start a YouTube channel. And eventually I was just kind of like, well, I mean, this sounds kind of fun and like I can do this, right? So like, why shouldn't I just, try and see what I can do here? And so I did that. And weirdly enough, it ended up kind of taking over my career path because like I originally wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to make movies and like.
Would you still want to do that? Would you still want to do that if the opportunity came, or is this kind of the space now that you want to stay in?
I mean, I'm primarily focused on this space because I think it's just kind of the perfect medium for me. On both fronts, I can utilize my video background and creativity to create content for the internet, which is fun. And then I also just love talking about films. So
yeah,
but I mean, that's not to say I wouldn't consider going back to making movies, like I have, there might be a few short films that I made out on the internet. I don't even know where you can find them, but, I did this one that was like really cool. It was like an original concept from conception. My friend like gave me the idea and he was like, hey, turn this into a film. And so I did that for like a capstone class. And it was just a really like eye-opening and incredible experience all around. And it really made me appreciate like the craft of directing because I directed those films. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens down the road, but like I'm having a lot of fun and I'm thoroughly enjoying what I'm doing now.
Okay. And kind of just don't go into that. What was like the thing that got you in the film? Like, was there a specific movie or television show that you watched? You're like, fuck, this is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I think for a lot of people my age, the person who got me to think about movies more critically, and the person who, started to get you to appreciate the craft of filmmaking was Christopher Nolan, truthfully. And it's like even in those Batman movies, it's like you're watching a Batman movie, but you're watching something just like
different,
fucking special.
Which is, I think, something we've talked about the MCU. We both love the MCU, but that's something that I don't think they've done yet. I think along the lines, instead of like the way that they like brought it all together, that's the most unique thing about it. But when you look at, say, The Dark Knight or even the original X-Men films, I mean, X-Men First Class, like those are like all very unique, have their own unique style to them. Even Logan, I mean, Logan's kind of the same way. Spider-Verse is probably the most original comic book film we've gotten in since probably The Dark Knight, I would say, at least in tonal wise.
I mean, probably. Like here's the thing. It's like when you move outside of the MCU, then you start to get a lot of like, whether they're good or bad, you start to get projects that have like a director's vision attached to them. Now, obviously there are exceptions to that. Like, I don't think Venom was necessarily the vision of Ruben Fleischer, but like I will say this, it had traits of Ruben Fleischer in there, like the cheekiness, the dark comedy. That's very like, that reminded me of stuff in Zombieland. So it's like when he was given the chance to tell his story, it worked. But like for the most part, yeah, I mean, you get filmmaker driven movies, which is, we were just talking about this. I'm rewatching like the Spider-Man movies.
Underrated, amazing Spider-Man, man. I like them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I love the Garfield films. I think they're probably my favorite version of Spider-Man. But it's like, even those in the Tobey movies, it's like, yeah, okay, the MCU Spider-Man is probably more consistent, and like I adore Far From Home, but it's like I miss having those like filmmaker driven narratives with like small and studio. I saw the thing you
just shared with us on Twitter before we jumped in here about the original ending to Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, dude, share that with the audience. Yeah. That is the ending I wish we would have gotten. I think that would have been
Is it really
way better. I wish that was the ending. Because I like the ending we got. Actually, I love the ending we got, but I like that one a little bit more. It goes a little bit darker in the sense. And now I understand why they didn't do that, because they wanted to leave open the Sinister Six type stuff with Goblin, but share with the audience, because I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I had a friend just send me over this because we were talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and like a lot of people don't know this, but there's like an alternate death scene for Gwen Stacy in that movie. I guess it's in the Sony vault. It was never included on like bonus features on the Blu-ray or whatnot. But originally Harry himself snaps Gwen's neck, and Peter basically loses it, and he beats the shit out of Harry, and he's screaming and crying, and it leaves him as kind of like a broken person. I don't think I never got the idea that like Harry died from this, but like I mean he was pretty freaking beat
messed
down.
up.
Yeah, and like I personally don't like this because I almost think it's more powerful that Gwen dies from Peter's own failings, from the fact that Peter thinks he can control time, and ultimately she falls and he is just literally not able to save her. So it's like that. Well, yeah, just to wrap that up, like basically, like I think that thematically fits more in line with everything that's going on in the film about Peter just having so much going on, not being able to balance it all.
Now, do you like the ending of it being a little bit more upbeat, though? Because that's the one thing I still never have liked. Do you, when it gets upbeat and he goes against Rhino? Yeah. Really? Whew.
Yeah, I think it is such a powerful and emotional ending because he's basically at his lowest point. Like he has failed. Like this movie essentially, aside from like the very, very ending, the movie essentially ends with Peter failing, and he for all of his gifts and whatnot does not know where to go. He has lost his sense of purpose, and so it maybe more time would have helped make this a little clearer, like kill Gwen off a little earlier and then have this happen. So it's like, then like it's through like Aunt May's words that it's like, no, it's like we need like the hero, and like this person like gives people hope. And it's like through the Aunt May's words and through Gwen's like graduation speech, Peter realizes that like, you know, this is part of being a hero. Like this is who I'm meant to be. And he finds himself, and then he comes out and fucking like, you know, fights the Rhino again. I love that they don't show that fight because it's like he's just going back to work to save the city because it's bigger than him.
Say I love that world that they set up, and I wish I really wish Sony would have just said, okay, it didn't do as well as we wanted it to, but let's just keep continuing. And I mean, when people talk about reactionary, they're just as bad as Warner Brothers Studios. They're just as bad as Warner Brothers Studios.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to reactionary stuff for it all. And it's funny. Are we getting that video essay, man? Because the way you're talking about it, I need a video essay from you just discussing.
It'll happen. No, it's actually going to happen this time. I think for sure, and I definitely have more time on my hands. It's like it's something that I've like kind of toyed around with working on. And I'm like,
I know you've talked about a couple, like King Kong's another one that you've discussed, which I still want that one.
Like one. Yeah, I know. I've got ideas for like King Kong. I've got ideas for like Quantum of Solace, and I've got ideas for obviously this. And it's just like, yeah, I want to do them all. It's just like the process of actually sitting down to do them all. Like,
well, because it's like research, it's rewatching, it's going into taking notes. You know, it's not just like I'm going to sit down in front of a camera and talk about every single thing about it. You want to make sure to hit all the points, and I think that's what's special. And we have 27 people in here right now, so thank you so much for joining us. I do see we have a super chat from Damian Scott. What's up? Glad I can support you for the first time. Thank you so much. Again, guys, keep throwing in your questions. Make sure you're going to hit that like and subscribe button, and we're just going to keep continuing with this chat. So, Griffin, I'm wondering, I had a question for you, and it's a little fucked up, and I know you're probably going to hate it. So you have to either erase one or the other, okay?
Okay.
So you either have to erase all the James Bond films or all of Nolan's films.
That's evil, but I would. Well, you have to look at like what each contributes to cinema. I mean, like Nolan ultimately contributes more to cinema, I would say. Just because of like the filmmaker he is. And like the Bond films kind of shaped the spy genre, but like there's just like a whole chunk of them in there that are just like not great.
What do you think's the worst one?
The worst one, I think Octopussy is the worst one. Like I just don't. It's
I still haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
I haven't seen.
When you get through when you're watching through the Moore films, I mean, it's pretty rough because it's just.
Is he your least favorite?
Not
Bond?
Good, and it's dated.
Yeah, is Roger Moore?
He is, but like. Yeah.
And I think we're in agreement. The most underrated is Timothy Dalton, right? And I think Timothy Dalton's probably the most underrated one.
Yeah, he's most underrated, most underappreciated. I would also throw in Pierce Brosnan just because, you know, like I think he was. This is going to be an interesting comparison. I'm going to compare Pierce Brosnan to Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Perfect casting, literally pitch perfect. Knows the character inside and out. His movies do not showcase necessary, like the movies aren't the best that they could be, right? So it's like the Holland films are really, really solid as opposed to like the Brosnan films. But it's like I feel like I'm watching a Marvel product, and it doesn't feel like the focus is on Spider-Man per se. Whereas like in the Brosnan films, it's like he's an excellent actor and an excellent portrayal of Bond with terrible movies. It's like if he was literally like our Daniel Craig right now, like he'd be killing it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know what I was thinking? You spoke about Spider-Man. Obviously, there was a little bit of stuff that came out last year, middle of the year, where Spider-Man was probably not going to be in the MCU anymore. Were you excited for that? Were you disappointed? I mean, what do you? The more I thought about it, if they end this storyline in the MCU, fine. I guess I can move past it. I do want to see what Holland can do and say, like, imagine if Holland got the material on Amazing Spider-Man. And Amazing Spider-Man was maybe fleshed out a little bit more. Because I've told you, I like every Spider-Man film. I think there are great decisions in 2. I think there are bad decisions in 2 as well. I do not think Electro should have been the villain at all, even though I think the fight scenes are cool with him. I'm wondering, would you be pissed if they're like, hey, he's leaving the MCU, but you feel concluded with his story in there, and it's like a Spider-Verse type thing? He goes to his own world, kind of gets disconnected.
Sure. No, I wouldn't be mad. I think I used to be married to the idea that he should just stay in the MCU because like because of what it is, because of what it means, and like his impact, and like his voice in there has already been like, it's like, how do you write someone like that out without killing him? So like I used to be like really married to that idea, but it's just like the more I just think about it, I'm like, I just want him to do his things, and maybe occasionally like team up with other people. But it's the reason why Sony has been able to hold on to Spider-Man for so long, not only because like they make money off of it, but because like he doesn't need to be with other people. Like he like excels perfectly on his own. And sure, team ups are cool, but it's like the character of Spider-Man is perfect when he's just like, it's just him.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's my thing, is that like I love this character so much. And in general, I think that's the one thing, is as much as I love the MCU, I do want these characters to get these solo films that can connect a little bit, but make it solely on them, just like some of the original kind of MCU films were later. Like this Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which we'll get into, that it got delayed. I think that script is changing a lot now. A lot more than than it was originally intended to when it was announced at San Diego Comic-Con with who's the director that was first on board?
Scott
Derrickson. And of course, like even there, they were like, "Oh, it's a horror film." He's like, "It's going to be a horror film," and Kevin Feige straight away said, "It's still going to be PG-13." Like, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. But going back kind of the Nolan thing. So first,
if I had to erase one, I don't know, man. That's so tough.
It is.
Like, I love those.
And look, and right behind you have Nolan's Batman's and a Dr. No poster.
Yeah, literally the two choices right there, just weighing over. Like, listen, Inception is my favorite movie of all time. So it's like, if I never got that film, then sure, let's for right now we'll erase the Bond films, and then every Bond fan on the internet is gonna friggin' shit on me. So that's fine.
It's fine. It's whatever. All right. So you already mentioned favorite Nolan film is Inception. That's mine as well. Now, if you had to go into your second favorite, is it Dark Knight? Is Dark Knight your second favorite?
It's the trilogy as a whole, actually. Because I personally
I'm with you on that.
I can't separate them, and I think they're too interconnected to be separated. Some people might disagree with that.
No, I agree with you.
And depending on the day, The Dark Knight Rises might be my favorite. Which I know you and I love that.
Yeah, love it. Batman Begins. I when it comes down to this trilogy, I do think Batman Begins is my favorite one in the whole trilogy. Just because like it feels it's only a Batman film, where the other two are kind of more than a Batman film and also expand. I just love how Nolan really crafted these worlds, and like going back and looking at his filmography before he even did Batman Begins, it's like, I mean, he had done Memento, which I think is a little overrated. That's the only film I actually do not like by him. Like, I think it's fine.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think it's well made. It's just, I've watched it like 4 or 5 times and I just cannot get into that film, which I know there are people that are like the same way with Dunkirk and Interstellar, which you and me both love. I love Interstellar. I think that movie is completely underrated. So he has a movie coming out this year, Tenet. Is it getting moved or not, man? I think it sticks. If theaters are open, I think it sticks. If theaters are open,
I don't think it gets moved, man. Like he's fucking planting his feet in the ground. He's saying, "No, man, we're going. We're gonna hit this July 17th, or is it July 17th, or
it's something like that.
Yeah, or 27th, or whatever. But he's like, we're gonna hit this date, and y'all are gonna come back to the movies. So and Warner Brothers is standing behind him. So it's like I really just like this. I like
I do too.
his cinematic crusade.
And I mean, think about it. The first film we go back to see at the theaters,
it was Tenet, man. God,
it's a great welcome home. I mean, it's not fucking Trolls World Tour or some shit like, or Artemis Fowl, you know, but it's Tenet, and that's like, and you know what though, I also look at this. I think this is a smart strategy, because if it's the only movie in theaters, that's the only movie you can possibly go see.
It's gonna make so much money. Yeah, and the next big movie to come out will be Wonder Woman, another Warner Brothers movie.
Mulan first. Mulan's right after
you're
that.
right. You're right. Mulan is after that, which I guess that'll make money. But like, there's still like weeks in between, I think, releases, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, I think it's like 2-3 weeks, and then it goes Wonder Woman right after.
Yeah, plenty of money. Warner Brothers will rack in the change. I mean, like it could go either way. They could make a lot of money, or like it could take a little bit of a dip because people are a little scared about going to the movies. So it just really depends on the state of the country, because it could very well get moved. It could get moved. I don't think it's going to, but yeah.
I think next month we're gonna probably see another trailer. We're gonna start seeing the marketing kind of kick in a little bit faster. And I think because I know AMC announced that they are not opening up theaters until a new film is like officially staking, like this is when it's coming in. I think there was like Regal was the same way, which makes sense. I do kind of wish though these theaters were taking the China approach when China started reopening, is like throwing the Avengers, throwing Avatar, Inception, Interstellar. Because even though I just watched Inception at home, I will gladly go pay $12 to go see Inception again, theaters, Interstellar. Is there a movie you've never got to see in theaters that you do wish that they could re-release that you could go see?
Yeah, weirdly enough, Casino Royale. I've never seen that in theaters.
I would either. You know which one I haven't is Dark Knight. I didn't get to see that in theaters.
Oh, you didn't even go for the re-release?
No, dude. I just my schedule never worked with it.
Dude, okay, so it's like I remember seeing that in theaters for sure. I remember seeing the entire trilogy in theaters, but like I went to go. They like did a re-release screening for like a 10th anniversary in IMAX 70 millimeter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god! Like we take that movie for granted, like how good it is. It's exceptional. Like words can't even.
It has one of my favorite openings ever to a film.
Yeah,
it literally that and Dark Knight Rises have seriously like probably top 20 favorite openings ever to a movie. Like both of those introduce the villain in such a freaking awesome manner. And I love Bane, man. I fucking
Bane's great.
Like Tom Hardy, I know we give him lots of shit sometimes because of the choices he does, but this guy is a phenomenal actor.
He's one of the best. He's a chameleon, and he's one of the best.
What's your favorite performance by him so far?
That's tricky. I mean, I might say Legend. I think that's really impressive because he's
incredible, even though the movie's not good.
Yeah, well, I don't hate. I
like
the movie,
it, but I just think it's so let down though. Like
it doesn't, like, his performance is definitely better than the movie. I'll give you that. I would throw that up there. I would also throw in oh shit, I just had. Have you ever seen Locke?
Yes, Locke.
Yeah, Locke is excellent, man.
Revenant, he's good in too. I know he was nominated.
Oh shit! No, I'm sorry. I take that back. Yeah, him in The Revenant is by far his best performance.
I actually thought that he was the best part about that film. I love that.
He was.
But I think that was DiCaprio's really good in that movie. I actually had a teacher who her daughter worked on helping make The Bear for when they when the bear drags him. So she was showing me behind the scenes stuff, and I guess like DiCaprio got up and he had scratch like from him being dragged on the floor. From what they had to do. And I mean, I can see why he won Best Actor that year. Plus, it was also probably one of the weakest years. I think the best performance that year was Steve Jobs, 100%.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But I see why.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender was robbed. Yeah,
and I see why now Michael Fassbender is doing films like The Snowman and whatever the fuck else he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel so bad for Michael. But no, that is. I thought Tom Hardy was more worthy of a win than DiCaprio. Like he should have been the one.
Who won supporting that year? Do you remember who won supporting that year?
Wasn't Mark Rylance? I think it might have been Mark Rylance.
Yeah, because I wanted Stallone or Hardy to win that year.
Yeah.
I still think Stallone gave the best performance that year, though.
I mean, he was excellent. Like I really think it was a missed opportunity for him to
Creed
win,
2, or not even Creed, just the first Creed in general should have been looked at all that year. I think Stallone was like the only nomination from that film.
Yeah.
And like Jordan, Coogler didn't even get looked at. So
yeah.
That happens, man. All right, so let's just get into this main topic, and then we can kind of get into the big Ask Me Anything. So lots of films are being delayed right now. Lots of films. But the MCU shuffled around a lot of stuff yesterday. And not just the MCU, Sony did. So first, I remember this came out, and you see Spiderman is delayed to this November date, which is also, I don't know how I feel about it being in November, to be honest with you, man. I'm used to it being in the May through July, and November is a little weird for me. And I know a lot of it's just because the MCU has some sort of chronological thing they need to go through, and that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But of course that happens. Then it's the same date as Doctor Strange. No way in hell those are both staying. So then Doctor Strange is delayed to March 25th. And Thor's moved up, 1 week or something like that. Spider-Verse has been delayed to October, which people don't know this. There's an untitled Marvel film also on that date.
Oh, there is. Yeah, I feel like
that's not happening. Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
Or like move back a couple weeks, move up a couple weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
Of the sense. So tell me, what was the one that were you surprised by any of these? Were you not? I was a little bit surprised to see Doctor Strange got pushed back that much again.
See, I guess that doesn't necessarily surprise me, because if Raimi's doing it, then like he's gonna want the time to like write a new script. I think whatever ideas they had for that Scott Derrickson was working on are just gonna get scrapped. They're gonna get thrown out the window, because you don't bring on a director like Sam Raimi unless you want him to bring to life his movie. Which I mean, I'm sure he'll. Right, I hope so. I mean, I'm sure he'll play ball with Kevin Feige and stuff, but my hope is that it's ultimately a Sam Raimi movie.
We're gonna see that tracking camera, man. We're gonna see the track.
Yeah, I hope.
And then Bruce Campbell, man. If Bruce Campbell's not in this thing, missed opportunity. I think he should be the villain, though. I think they should besides Baron Mordo.
Well, yeah, that's maybe like a henchman to Baron Mordo. That I'd be okay with that. Yeah. No, am I surprised by this? No. Because I mean, like Venom was moved like only a matter of weeks before Spider-Man 3 was supposed to open.
Yeah.
There's all these delays. Spider-Man 3 hasn't even started shooting. They don't even have a title yet. Like the movie, of course, is going to get delayed. So yeah, it being delayed, to November. No, I don't think that's a surprise. But I mean, man, next year is going to be a major year for Sony. They have Morbius, Venom 2, and Spider-Man coming out. Those are like three major movies.
And Uncharted, which they did move
and Uncharted,
up, so I didn't know this. They actually started film. They actually had filmed like I think a couple days on set.
I think the first day they were on the first day they were on set. Tom Holland said the coronavirus thing happened. And yeah.
But so then that's my thing. I didn't know that, because I actually thought, they'll probably do Spider-Man first, but they probably have I'm sure Sony's like, okay, we have Mark Wahlberg, we have literally the whole cast, we just got to do this thing. Like, we cannot keep pushing this film back for Spider-Man or something else. And I think Holland's probably the same way. I think you guys have given me this franchise, let me do it. I'm actually kind of excited for Uncharted, even though I wish they were going a little bit older. I think this could be a lot of fun. I don't love that Ruben Fleischer's directing it, though. I liked when Sean Levy was it Sean Levy, the guy who did Real Steel? Was that when he was on board?
Yeah.
I was more on board for him, and then when Travis Knight was on board too.
Yep. Both of those would have been just like a million times better than Ruben Fleischer, who has literally just become the company man over at Sony and is basically their Ron Howard, but even that is giving him too much credit. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I just don't think he should.
I've enjoyed all of his movies, but I think for an Uncharted, you want to knock it out of the park, But for all I know, he's the biggest Uncharted fan in the world, and this is his passion. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt it, but
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I really think there's really no casting announcement or director announcement that, hey, Ruben Fleischer is doing the Uncharted film. It was just kind of rumored, and then he's doing it. You know what I mean?
It's irritating, because it's like Uncharted should literally be the easiest thing to adapt. It's just
out of every video game,
it's Indiana Jones. Yeah, I mean, the stories are given to you. You can riff off of them if you want. Just get someone in there who understands the adventure genre and that can give us the next Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Give us a good story, not rely on too much humor, and also action pack. I don't want to see Tom Holland throwing on a rope and then lands in a lobster freaking little thing, and then that's still the best scene in Venom, though. Just so everyone knows.
The lobster. It's mind blowing. Like I don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like totally. Why? It's just weird.
And I like Venom. I like the first
I love
Venom.
it. Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's literally, and like I know I haven't gotten your opinion on this. Do you like the title?
No. No.
Let there be carnage. Stupid. But you know what though? It kind of fits. The more I mean, it fits. I just wish they went simpler.
Yeah, like it's first of all, it's a mouthful. It's like it's so hard to like just roll off the tongue. But like second of all, like yeah, I guess it fits what they're going for, and it's probably a little more self-aware than we're giving it credit for. But like, it's just stupid. It's just bad.
You could have done Venom versus Carnage, Venom Maximum Carnage, or just Venom 2. You could have literally just done Venom 2.
Venom 2 would have been equally as fine. Honestly, Venom Maximum Carnage would have been the best because you're still getting the pun, but also it's like it doesn't sound awful and it's easier to say.
Yeah, so. And like my friend was asking me, he's like, I like the title. I was like, dude, but you're not like, you don't have to, when you do a review for that, you don't have to type in Venom Let There Be Carnage movie review 2020 or hashtag Venom fucking 2. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like Birds of Prey was like pretty hard too. Like Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
I just got, whenever I did that, I just got rid of the Fantabulous Emancipation. I just said Birds of Prey Harley Quinn or Birds of Prey.
I still think it should have been called Harley Quinn The Birds of Prey.
The Birds of Prey. Yeah.
It's insane. So also what got delayed was Thor Love and Thunder. Well, it actually didn't get delayed. It got pushed up a week.
It got moved up. Yeah.
Valentine's Day weekend. This is, you and me do not like Ragnarok. You and me have discussed it. We both think it's a little overrated. It's fun. It's whatever. But I just, the more I watch that movie, the less I like it. But I'm more excited for Love and Thunder because I feel like Taika coming in from the start will add his flair, but also not be as improv. Ragnarok was. What are your thoughts on this film real fast? Do you like the direction they're kind of going with bringing back Natalie Portman? Are you excited for this? Do you think it's a good weekend to come out on Valentine's Day weekend?
No, I mean, the name of the movie is Love and Thunder, so I think it's perfect for Valentine's Day. Whether or not it's, romantic or not, like it'll be fun. I do like Natalie Portman coming back, and as like basically the Jane Foster Thor. I think that could be pretty cool. I no idea what to expect, but it's Taika Waititi given full creative freedom. So I hope he's given full creative freedom. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be pretty exciting.
Do you think it ties in a lot, or do you think this is like truly like kind of its own little realm?
I think if it tied into multiverse, then they would have had multiverse. Or I'm sorry, I think if because multiverse was supposed to come out first, right? And then Thor 4.
So multiverse. So how it was supposed to be was Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, then multiverse. But now that's completely been changed.
Yeah. So that leads me to believe that Thor 4 is really just its own thing, and rightfully so. I don't need it to connect to anything. Yeah.
No, I think this is more of Marvel going, okay, we love Taika. Taika wants to do another Thor film. Let's let him just do whatever he wants. And then if we want to take anything from that and connect it, we can. I think the Guardians do show up, probably just snip it in the beginning, but that's really it.
Maybe I could see it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I could definitely see it. I think
the big question is he still fat?
Is he still fat? He might he might be fat by the beginning of it and then like kind of lose the weight throughout or something like that.
Well, once he meets Natalie, he's Jane Foster again.
Yeah, I could see something like that. Yeah, for sure. I think personally it's going to be sort of like it's going to be as self-contained as like Iron Man 3 was, where it's like they were like, hey, Shane Black, make a Shane Black movie. They'll be like, hey, Taika Waititi, you did Thor Ragnarok, so now just go fucking bananas. So
and the way he was talking about like the space sharks, the girl in that robot suit that he showed,
just so weird and wacky. It just feels like a child playing with toys. It
really makes me think of the line from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when he figures out he can make stuff and he goes, I'm gonna make a lot of weird shit. That's
right. Yeah, that's like
so it's fun, but it's sad to see these films get delayed. I think the one that I'm actually the most sad about getting delayed is actually Into the Spider-Verse. That's the one that I just because this is a film that the first one hit. I actually do think the date is better in November, probably or October or whatever they're hitting.
I think it's definitely better. Yeah,
because that's kind of the start of the movie season, and I mean Spider-Verse didn't make a ton of money. It made a lot more money than I think people were expecting, and it was way better than. I mean, it's my favorite Spider-Man film, but I think was way better than anyone ever expected. So I'm wondering, what are they going to do with this story? Do they actually bring in Spider-Man 2099? Do they kind of?
I mean, I guess they should, right? Like, I mean, he popped up at the end of the movie, so like, I mean, I guess it was for a little like gag, but I mean, yeah, why not? They cast Oscar Isaac as the voice of him, so.
I love him, dude. I love him so much.
Yeah, it was awesome. No, I think they probably bring him in some capacity. I'd be curious to see where they take the story, though.
Totally. So, of the last kind of bit of news, Venom 2, we kind of mentioned it a little bit. This was originally supposed to be the big thing because Tom Hardy did post this photo of Venom eating Spider-Man, but that kind of got deleted and not out there into the world anymore. So I'm curious with you. Venom 2, obviously, it was supposed to come out this year, and then they're like, oh, no, we're just going to push it back into June. Do you like that date of June real fast? I think it would have been better in October. I mean, I know why. I mean, it's like the first one did so well in October.
I think that's why they moved it to June, because they're like, this thing's a money-making machine and people will go see it. Like the first one, while it didn't get the greatest reviews, made over $800 million. I think that's like reason enough to slot it in June, because I think the movie is basically almost done. They could have released it this year if they wanted to, but I think because of the crowded fall market and the fact that the Batman vacated that June release, they're like, okay, this is perfect. We're just going to slide it in here. We're not going to worry about any competition. We're just going to make a whole lot of money. So I think it's a good slot.
And here's the other thing. So Morbius obviously comes out before this. I don't think they're going to connect too heavily because they were not really. So this is my thing with it. Do you think, first going to Morbius, obviously besides the Vulture and the Spider-Man killer thing, do you think there's anything else we see in that movie that connects to?
I don't know. Maybe like a mention of Venom or something like that, or Eddie Brock.
I think we get J.K. Simmons.
Oh, cameo from. Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, because Michael Keaton's in there. Yeah, you probably do get a little. You probably get J.K. in there.
And then, do you think the Vulture is the end credit scene?
Yeah, maybe, probably. It's definitely not a major plot point, but like it's either at the end or like a post-credit scene or something like that.
And then with Venom 2, do you think there's anything big that connects it to the overarching world? I have a theory on this, but I'm curious to hear you. I think Spider-Man does show up in this, either on a news thing or What about
I think you're probably right. I think there might be a reference to Spider-Man, which is another reason why Sony pushed the release date of Spider-Man 3, or basically they want Venom 2 to come out before Spider-Man 3, probably for a reason. Yeah.
And do you think Venom shows up in there then?
In Spider-Man 3?
It can even be a cameo. You don't think even as a cameo? What about in 4? Like, that kind of sets it up, or do you think it just Venom and will stay self-contained and Spider-Man will go over there and they just won't touch Venom?
I think that's probably more likely, because I don't know if Kevin Feige and the MCU wants the baggage that comes with having Venom in their universe. You know?
So this is my theory. Obviously Venom's kind of set up as his anti-hero in this world. And obviously everything that happened at the end of Spider-Man and him being kind of looked like to be a terrorist, Venom's going to defeat Carnage. That's just the truth. He won't kill him, but he'll defeat him. I have a feeling, what if Venom and Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock see, oh, there's this Spider-Man, there's this other character. Let's go fucking fight him. You know what I mean? Let's go stop this terrorist menace from wherever he's at, and they head to New York. And that'll be like the third Venom film. That's kind of how I could see them. Because how are you going to pit both these together? Because Eddie Brock obviously has a consciousness, whatever the fuck. He has a fucking Jiminy Cricket on the side of his shoulder telling him what he should do, which is Venom.
Yeah.
And then you have Spider-Man, who's obviously being framed for all this stuff. So that's the way I can see them kind of bringing it together perfectly without feeling it forced. And then they'll team up and probably have to fight Carnage again or something.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. I don't know. Like you have to get Marvel to agree to like do that.
Mm-hmm. And then I know that they want to do Sinister Six. That's also the truth. We all know they want to do a Sinister Six. Which, do you think Mysterio comes back for that? Do you think they actually get Jake Gyllenhaal back for that? I think yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead. Yeah,
no.
like he's definitely not dead. Like,
no.
Yeah, no, he'll come back. Yeah,
he has to. You don't get Jake Gyllenhaal for one fucking movie.
Yeah, no. You bring him back, and I mean, it seems like he had a fun enough time working on it, even regardless of whether or not he knew anything about the character he was playing. But
yeah. Well, guys, that kind of leaves it. We're done with the news, and this is time to kind of get into the Ask Me Anything part. So feel free to ask any sort of questions in the chat. Make them as unique as possible. Those are the ones we will be picking. I like those unique ones. We want to see that. We do have some over on Twitter that I want to kind of get into because I got some people who couldn't join. Keenan Creates says, Gosling and Crow are perfect, but just for fun, recast the 2 leads of Nice Guys. I'm going to let you take this one first.
Recast the 2 leads of Nice Guys?
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer, and it's called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yep, that movie is so underrated.
Yeah,
so underrated. That's probably like one of Downey's like top 3.
People don't give that film enough credit. It's like The Nice Guys. It just kind of flies under the radar.
Yeah,
like
Nice Guys should have had like all the money. Like literally should have just been okay. If I was to recast this, as Gosling's character, I would change that to Andrew Garfield, and Crow I would change to Bruce Campbell. I would love to see them both going off one another.
Bruce Campbell,
dude, yeah.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect casting, but it's just like that would be hilarious to just see Bruce Campbell in a movie like that. Yeah,
literally, I miss him, man. I
know.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead was like straight up one of the most fun shows ever, and that ending was the biggest tease of what they could do. So, but it also felt in the right Evil Dead of leaving it open. So honestly, I know he says he's retired. I don't believe that. I think eventually they will do another one. I still really believe, and I still think we'll get Fede Alvarez as Evil Dead 2 eventually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do they even use Ash in that one, or do they just keep on doing what they're doing after the first one?
I remember someone asked Raimi and at a con or something, like a super small one, about them connecting the worlds, and he said they had originally had actual ideas to bring in who's the girl in Evil Dead?
Why am I blanking on her name?
I know, I love her to death. I just can't remember. But they had thoughts of bringing her into the show and making her an integral part. I'm like, fuck, I would have loved that too.
That would have been interesting. Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to drop the ball and say this is connected, because it is connected in some way. I mean, it's fun in that way. All right. Ghost Andrex asked, seriously, what movie do you think you'll see next in theaters? I think it's Tenet.
Yeah, I mean, one way or the other, it's Tenet.
Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be Tenet or Mulan. You know what I mean? Unless theaters still are closed, that's just the truth. What genre would you like Tarantino to tackle next?
Well, the thing about Tarantino is like he's not strictly attached to one particular genre. A lot of his films are melding of genres. So like even his westerns have just like traits of other films in them. So when you say that, it's kind of like, okay, well, if you wanted to do a crime movie, he'll probably make it a crime movie, but then like throw in like some romance and some like, you know, whatever in it. So it's like that's actually kind of really hard to like predict. But
I want to see him touch sci-fi and horror. Like,
that's
the only thing he hasn't done yet.
Yeah, those are definitely the only 2 that he hasn't really tagged. And I mean, you know, he had that Star Trek script, which I would have been really interested in seeing. So maybe a sci-fi movie.
Right? Is it not happening? Or are they
I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's in limbo or something. Well, and he didn't even write it. He gave him a story outline for what they should do to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he didn't like straight up right now. If he actually wrote, because he says his last film will be his last, but I don't believe that. He'll still write. He'll come back and eventually direct, but it probably won't be like his original script. You know, he'll do other things. He'll go away and come back. How many people do we see go away and come back? You know what I mean? Like, multiple times people have done this. But I think horror and sci-fi are like, if he has a good concept for that, that's the last thing I would like to see him do. But it'd also be cool to see him kind of go back to Pulp Fiction kind of days.
Yeah, something like that for sure. That would be. Yeah.
I know he talked about doing like a Bonnie and Clyde type style Australian Western, which I think that would be.
I'd very much be down for that.
Yeah, you can tell he loves the Western genre. I wouldn't even be shocked if that's the last one he touches. You know what I mean?
Same. I'd be okay with that too. Yeah.
talk about Kill Bill 3. I don't want to say Kill Bill 3. I love the first two. Don't do a third one.
Nope.
The one idea he's always talked about, though, that I wish he would have done was Vincent Vega, the Vincent Vega story.
Yeah, that could have been interesting. I'd rather him do like because like he's limiting himself. I'd basically rather him do just like an original idea.
I agree with you. Someone asked, "What do you like off camera? Chipotle or Five Guys? Worst theater experience?" Yeah. So first,
Chipotle or Five Guys?
Chipotle,
man. I'm a Chipotle fiend. Tyler Tompkins and I are both Chipotle fiends. We go on many Chipotle dates.
I don't go to Five Guys too much. I mean, Chipotle.
I don't either.
I don't know. Chipotle, I mean, they just got good food. I mean,
you just go there. It's like you know exactly what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You know that it's gonna be good. For the most part, it'll be fresh. Although sometimes if you go to Chipotle's, like they can have some like guac sitting out for a little while. But we don't go to those Chipotle's. We go to the ones where you know it's gonna be fresh. It tastes good and it's relatively healthy. So like
the fun thing about that is like the theater that has all the press screenings. The two things near it is a Chipotle and and this like pasta place. It's a couple noodles. Do you have any?
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
good, so good. They got like the best barbecue mac and cheese like ever. So good. Someone asked, "What do you like off camera?" I think it's
what am I like off camera?
I'm the same.
This I'm literally like this.
Worst theater experience.
I was watching, and maybe it's really not bad, but like I was watching Lights Out with my mom. We went to go see that, and there was a lady like behind us or like a little bit over who kept fidgeting and scratching her leg the whole time. And it got to the point where it was just like, and she would just be making weird noises.
It's like quietest moments, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, what? Why? And so I ended up leaving the movie because I couldn't take it anymore. Walked out of it and never saw the rest of Lights Out. So
I like that movie. That movie's fun.
I know. Really it was so freaking bizarre and irritating. I was just like, I can't deal with this.
I've had three. One was during my screening of Endgame. There was a guy, he must have been a guest to someone, brought in a plastic bag full of goodies to eat. Every time it was quiet, he's going through the bag, rummaging. And all I hear is the plastic sound. Like the scene where Black Widow's about to die. Literally just rummaging. And I told my friend next to me, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking scream. I'm gonna fucking yell at this dude. He goes, no, it's fine. Every time Tony does his thing, rummaging through the fucking bag. Like,
oh my God.
It was just, this dude had snacks on snacks on snacks. Until someone finally told him, like, shh, like, stop. Fuck, man.
I know. It's like, pick your moments. Like, don't do it. Like, don't do it at the quiet parts. Like, what are you doing?
Stupid. The second one was when I went to see Annabelle Creation. I won tickets to go see it early, and apparently this is an R-rated film. There are a bunch of children in it, a bunch of children. And the rep goes up to the front and he goes, "I see there are many children in here. I've seen this movie. It scared the shit out of me. Please watch your children. Please watch your children." These kids were running around the theater, and I still like the movie, but they were running around the theater, throwing their food. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And then the last one was I went to see Valerian in the morning. All right. It's
bad
me.
Movie.
I like it, but it's me, this couple all the way in the corner, and this old man. Old man snoring, couples having sex or something. Like make out and like touch each other. And I'm just like trying to tone it out for the movie's sake. It got to the point where I actually left midway through and just went to a different showing of it. Like I went in straight up to them, like, I can't do this. And they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything about this fucking couple. Like,
that's
like
bad.
Okay. The last question is, so the MCU does have, there's a schedule. I did a schedule prediction. Someone asked for your prediction. The dates, I'm going to throw out the dates and you tell me what movies you think could possibly go on there. So October 7th, 2022, I think that's going to be Blade. It will be changed a bit because that's where Spider-Verse 2 is now. But what about you? Which do you think would possibly go on that date? I think Blade was kind of the one to go.
Well, here's the other thing. Are those dates like only films or are they TV shows too? Because like it could be Moon Knight, it could be Miss Marvel, it could be She-Hulk.
From what I understand, this is from Walt Disney's like movie schedule website.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's Blade. I think it's perfect for October.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably that would be the next logical choice after Multiverse, right?
And Moon Knight will probably be a little bit before that too. I think that's a good way to psych him in.
Yeah.
The next one is February 17th, 2023. I think that's Ant-Man 3. I think that's a perfect date for Ant-Man film.
Yeah, because Ant-Man, yeah, I mean, well, they could also do the thing where it's like the August one is Ant-Man. Ant-Man and Blade will probably, whichever one is done first. Yeah. I just feel like Ant-Man is actually in production right now, and Blade, we literally have no idea.
Like they literally announced it because you have Mahershala Ali as Blade. It's kind of going to be like the Black Adam thing. He'll probably, well, I mean, Black Adam's a little bit different. He's been casted for what, like 10 years, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
The next one is Guardians Volume 3, I think for May 5th, 2023.
Yeah, that's definitely Guardians. Yeah.
Guardians date. By that point, James Gunn, because I think Suicide Squad will probably be done mid next year. Yeah. And then they can start. The script's pretty much, I think the script's done. They just probably have to go through, change a couple things due to whatever's happened in the MCU, and then you're ready. The next one is July 28th, 2023. I think that's going to be a crossover event. Like a Young Avengers, an Avengers 4.
Maybe some sort of crossover event or something like that. I don't know. It depends on like if they want to really what they're setting up, because we ultimately have no idea what they're setting up. So.
And then the other thing is November 3rd, 2023. I think that's Fantastic Four. I think that would be a good date for Fantastic Four.
If they have everything in place by that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you like the rumor that Joss Whedon's potentially doing it?
No, I hate that. I don't want him to do
Fantastic Four. I really don't want him touching the Fantastic Four ever, or like any MCU stuff. I mean, after Justice League, I know that wasn't completely his fault,
but still,
I just don't want it. I mean, I'm in the minority. I think the first Avengers is a little overrated. I think it's fun, but I don't. If I, what would be your dream director besides the Russo brothers? Which director, either in the MCU or in the Disney house, that you would like to see come and do a Marvel film in the Avengers light?
Like an Avengers movie, or like a Avengers film.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if Sam Raimi really like proves to be a fucking incredible choice with Doctor Strange, maybe let him do the team up, right? That would be interesting.
The one I'm worried that they could possibly do is Taika. I do not want Taika doing an Avengers film.
Yeah, I don't want to see him doing that either.
I could see, these are the three that I would love to see, and these are kind of all in the Disney house. I would love Sam Raimi. I mean, I don't even know how this movie is going to be, but I would love him. The director of Shang-Chi, I don't remember his name off the top of my bat, but the guy who's done what's the Brie Larson film that he did with her? Oh my god, I have it like right behind me. It's super underrated. It has John Gallagher Jr. in it, too. It has
Cloverfield Lane.
No. Fuck, what is this? I gotta look it up. It's pissing me off so much.
While you're looking that up, I will say that for Fantastic Four, I would want to see Brad Bird or Joe Johnston, and I would also love for Fantastic Four to be a period piece set back in the 60s that ties into the Ant-Man films with Hank Pym. I think that's how you do the Fantastic Four.
That's the best way. And I remember there was rumors that the original script for Ant-Man 3 had the Fantastic Four in it, and then they asked them to change the Young Avengers. I'm not a big fan of the Young Avengers, personally.
No, it sucks.
He did Short Term 12. That's the movie.
Short Term 12.
Yeah.
Wait, he's directing Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Why did I not know that? Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of sets me. So let's just get into the live chat now. We got a couple minutes. We're going to go, more than a couple minutes. We got a lot of questions here. So start throwing in your questions, guys. Make them really, really good. Nate, I know we both love this franchise. Where do you want John Wick 4 to go story-wise?
Oh, crap. I had an idea for this when it initially came out. I mean, here's the thing. It's like the way like Chad Stahelski's put it, it's like he's like a lone gunslinger who's done so many things. So it's like the franchise will either end with him dead or him on the run, which makes sense for the character. Where do I want to see it go in the fourth one? I just want to see them like continue to explore the lore, and like maybe have him.
I think.
Wait, what'd you say?
You think the fourth one will be the last one? Because I actually thought 3 was going to be the last. I legitimately thought 3. When I went and saw that movie, I said, this is going to be the last one. He's probably going to die. Nope. He gets thrown off. No, he's alive.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I don't know how long they can keep doing the same thing, but yeah, I mean, I just want to see him fight. Obviously, probably take down Ian McShane or whatnot, or
Mhm.
I don't even remember if they're still kind of working together or not. But
Who knows? Who knows?
basically, I just want to see him dismantle the high table and then either run off into the sunset or die. That is what needs to happen.
100%. All right. Pixar fan asks, rank these movies coming out in November based on your excitement. We got Black Widow, Soul, Godzilla vs. Kong, No Time to Die. One of those might not come out, but
Yeah, right.
which one? Just for right now, which one would be? I think we're both at No Time to Die, number one.
Yeah, that's number one, like by a fucking large margin.
Yeah.
But where's the Black Widow? Okay, so No Time to Die, Soul, Black Widow, and then Godzilla versus Kong.
I'm with you on that. Even though
Yeah.
I'm excited for all of those personally. But No Time to Die is like,
Yeah,
oh,
just give me that movie. I'm so sad because we would have seen it already by now.
I know. Oh, Jaren talks movies. What's up, guys? What film are you most excited for coming in the MCU, and what film could you care less about? That's coming up.
Honest.
Yeah.
That's coming up soon. I'm going to be honest. There's really nothing on the MCU slate that is getting me like mind-blowingly excited. I'm not including Spider-Man 3 because I think that's like a different sort of thing. But
not even Doctor Strange.
I was gonna say Doctor Strange only because Sam Raimi is attached to it. That is honestly the only reason.
Yeah. So for me, once Endgame ended, I said, I love the MCU, but I'm not going to get excited. Then Spider-Man Far From Home comes out, and the way that they left it off made me, I'm like, okay, let me see where this goes. Black Widow, I don't think is going to be the taste for me to see how Phase 4 is going to go. I think it's going to be a great movie. It's going to be another MCU film. It's going to be fun. It's going to explore her background a little bit more, and it'll probably add more depth to like Endgame, how Endgame, what happens in Endgame. Personally, for me, I mean, like, when it comes to the whole MCU, the one that I'm most excited about, like right now, is Eternals. I'm so fucking stoked. I think that movie's gonna be awesome. But I will also say, if I had to pick one, not including Spider-Man, because Spider-Man would be the number one, it would be Doctor Strange. And talking about what film I care less about, I love Taika. I didn't love Thor Ragnarok. If I had to get rid of one, it'd be Thor: Love and Thunder.
If you had to get rid of one,
I think that'd be the one.
I don't know.
But if we're including Disney Plus shows, I don't care at all for She-Hulk. I do not care at all. Personally, with me, I do not.
Yeah. If we're gonna stick to films, probably. I mean, maybe Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, but also, I guess I just don't care about the Eternals really at all. Like none of it just seems interesting to me.
First directed film.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I mean, like
that's why I think
I believe in her. I guess I'm not interested. Like I'd rather like I don't know what's the other new one. Oh, Shang-Chi's the other new one. Like that's way more interesting to me than whatever the hell the Eternals is doing.
Yeah. Jazzy Jones asks us. I just want to answer this one. Is 21 Bridges better than Extractions, which is produced by I never saw 21 Bridges. I know you did. Extraction's the better film, right?
Yeah, I mean easily. Like
I like a margin.
Yeah.
All right. Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men or Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight?
Probably Bardem in No Country for Old Men, just because it's like sure Heath Ledger's performance is scary and real to an extent, but Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men feels like an actual serial killer. So
no, and that he was like nightmare inducing.
So good.
Nightmare in that. Why do you hate the Arrowverse? I've talked about this. I hate it because there's too many episodes. Every character is cheesy. It looks like a bunch of CGI scenes from a 2001 space game or video game. And why I think some of the performances are good, a lot are crap. The crossover events are fun, though. I'll say that. The crossover events are fun. There's too many episodes. If each season was like 10 to 12 episodes, I could watch every single show. And I would still get through the crap. But 22 episodes is way too much.
Yeah, that's it. It's the episode count, and it's the fact that I'm just sick of the melodrama and the characters repeating, going through the same cycle over and over and over again, which is what you get with something on CW. But just like this shows, they haven't been good since like The Flash season 1. Arrow hasn't been good since like I will, trepidly say season 3, but season 2 is really the last truly great season of that show. But
and that's what's funny. So Flash, I started with Arrow, loved 1, love 2. I think 2 is like the best season of that show by a mile.
Oh, 2 is incredible, yeah.
3 people started hating on. I actually didn't mind 3, and then it got into that Damien Dark stuff.
Damien Dark stuff, I'm just
killed it.
Yeah.
The Flash wise, I liked 1, I liked 2. I was still on board for 3, not loving it. I stopped watching after that.
Yeah.
I
got too ridiculous.
And then Supergirl, I couldn't do. I just
that just wasn't good.
Batwoman, not great either. And then what is it? Legends of Tomorrow, honestly, is probably the best thing they have because it knows what it is. And I don't even love watching the show. I'll catch it here and there, and it's on in the background. Let's see. Tom Hardy in Peaky Blinders is so underrated, I feel. I agree. That show's underrated. Favorite non-Disney animated movie? I would say Spirited Away, but that technically was produced and distributed by Disney. So I'm gonna go Iron Giant. What about you?
Iron Giant. Does it have to be animated or
favorite Disney non-Disney animated movie? So yeah, animated.
Oh, non-Disney animated. So it's not a Disney movie, but it's animated.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's tricky. Probably. Shit, I'm trying to think of like what some of those like really good DreamWorks ones.
Shrek,
you know what? Shrek is good. I was gonna say the Prince of Egypt. Prince of Egypt is excellent.
Really underrated. That's really underrated. What's your favorite DreamWorks franchise that they have?
Yeah, I was talking about this with Tyler on the last live stream. Kung Fu Panda is really good, but then also How to Train Your Dragon. Those two are freaking excellent.
I think those are the two best things.
Yeah.
Like both trilogies are actually great. I think Kung Fu Panda 2 is personally the best DreamWorks film they've ever made. I love that film.
Oh, interesting. See, I think my favorite of the Kung Fu Pandas is 3, and then my favorite of the How to Train Your Dragons is also 3. Yeah.
Oh, see, so mine goes 1, 3, 2. I think 2 is a little overrated when it comes to How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
I didn't like the villain at all for that. Will say the best villain is 3 though. 3 had an awesome villain.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's the next question? Hey Zach, do you watch One Punch Man because the live action movie was confirmed to be in works? I've watched elements of it. It's not one of my favorites, but I also don't like when they do anime to live action because no one knows how to do it. There's never been a good live action remake or
that's
so
true.
I mean, I could be wrong, but it's Sony doing it.
I think it is Sony. Yeah.
So here's the thing: Netflix is doing like an Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. They're doing the Cowboy Bebop. They're doing some stuff that I actually am pretty looking forward to, but I need to see it first because they did Death Note and that was garbage. So
yeah, not good.
What is your favorite director and actor? My favorite director would be the Russos or Christopher Nolan. My favorite actor would be Chris Evans or John Krasinski.
Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat the question again. Your favorite actor and director?
Yeah.
So my favorite director is Christopher Nolan. My favorite actor, I think, is either Leo or Michael Fassbender. So
I agree. So my favorite actor is Jake Gyllenhaal. But I think the best actor working today is Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with that for sure. I would still, I kind of like Leo a little bit more. I think he's probably the best actor working today. Yeah.
And then my favorite director is Scorsese. I have never been disappointed by a Scorsese movie.
Yeah,
ever.
Scorsese's
Ever.
Yeah,
which celebrity do you often been told you look alike?
For me, I don't get it, but I guess people apparently say that I look like Chris Evans sometimes.
Yeah. I think we've done live chats saying that.
I've literally, there have been people in live chats who have said that. And I'm sure. All right. I don't get it, but
the one I get 3. Love Simon, the kid from Love Simon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Top. I've gotten Giovanni Ribisi. Fucking two old ladies that come to my work.
What?
And that's what I'm like. I don't know what the fuck you're talking
about. It doesn't even make sense.
Dude, I know. And then I don't remember the other one off the top of my head. And I'd have to think about it. If there's a Sinister Six, who will be the 6 members? I mean, the ones he's saying is he thinks is Venom, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Vulture, Mysterio, and Scorpion. That'd be the lineup I'd want personally.
I don't think Venom joins the Sinister Six though. That's the thing.
That's actually what worries me. I don't want Venom in there. That's
I don't want Venom in there. Yeah.
My worry is that they're going to put Venom and Morbius in there, and I do not want them in there. I would want it. I mean, my ideal one would be Kraven, Doc Ock, Goblin, Vulture, Mysterio, and Scorpion. But they're not going to do Green Goblin or Doc Ock.
Yeah.
They're going to do Mysterio, Vulture, Scorpion, probably the Shocker, and Morbius and Venom. Oh, actually, you know what? Take out one of those and probably put Kraven, because I think Kraven will be in the next Spider-Man film.
Yeah,
he's the only one. Which I was talking with Ren yesterday. Dude, you know what actor would love to see play him? Actually, is Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he'd be pretty good. Yeah,
he would just nail it.
I think I don't know if I talked about this on your podcast with him, but I would love to see Jimon Hansu.
Yeah, you did.
Play Kraven. I think he'd be amazing.
He deserves that kind of big role. I think. What's the biggest role you think he's gotten?
God, wait, what'd you say?
Was he in Blood Diamond? Was he in Blood Diamond?
Yeah, he was in. Yeah, he was in Blood Diamond. I mean, that maybe. Yeah, I mean, he was also in Gladiator. That was pretty big too.
So I don't know. Does Griffin have a letterbox? Do you have a letterbox? Well, I know you do, but
Yep. You can go check out my letterbox. I think it's just at Griff Schiller or something like that.
All right, so guys, we're gonna take around 4 more questions. So please start throwing them in. Let's have some fun with it. Again, make them as unique as possible. They don't just have to be about the MCU. They can literally be about whatever the fuck you guys want them to be about. Favorite MCU shows? Mine are Netflix, Agent Carter, and Cloak and Dagger. I mean, it's Daredevil or the Punisher.
Daredevil is
hands down.
Yeah, Daredevil. If we're choosing specific seasons, Daredevil season 3, Punisher season 2, but yeah, those two are definitely the best. But I will say I don't hate Iron Fist.
No,
I don't hate Iron
Fist. Second season of Iron Fist was actually
great,
really good.
Yeah,
and then Jessica Jones, I loved the first season, hated the second season. Watched the third season and thought it was fine. Luke Cage, I thought only had issues because of how long those fucking seasons were. Those should have been like 6 episode seasons. And Mahershala Ali killed it in that role.
Yeah.
Who would you guys cast as some of the Spider-Man villains we haven't seen yet recently in the movies? Kraven, we just said our kind of choices for that.
Yeah.
If they were to do a Green Goblin, I've said it. I want Matthew McConaughey as Norman Osborn. I think he just destroy that role, man. And then Doc Ock for me, I don't know. But I know as Harry Osborn, I would really want, I think Timothy Chalamet would kill it as a Harry Osborn.
He could be okay. It depends on what you're looking for. I still think James Franco has the best interpretation of Harry Osborn. I really like that. So maybe something along those lines. For Green Goblin, for Norman, that's tricky. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just throw out Timothy Dalton. Haven't seen him do anything. Although he might be too old though at this point. So
you know what though? I could see. Well, there's a lot of CGI involved in this, and Timothy Dalton is a little bit older. Dude, you know what I could see him? Well, you could de-age him and make him Uncle Ben.
Timothy Dalton as Uncle Ben. No, I don't want to see that.
You know what? I like that.
It's wasting his potential. Well, if you've seen The Rocketeer, you know the kind he can be a pretty good villain. Actually, he could probably be a pretty good Kraven now that I think about it.
Chuck, dude, he was phenomenal as the villain for the 2 seasons they had him in.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love that show. When grading movies, is there a certain blueprint criteria you follow or anything like that? I'll let you start with this one.
For grading movies, not really. I mean, I factor in quality, obviously, how good is the writing, how good is entertainment factor. Do I personally like the film? That's kind of I mean, I don't give that one too much weight. I mean, it depends, because there are movies that I really respect, but I don't like.
And that's how I feel. Last Black Man in San Francisco, I didn't love, but I loved a lot of elements about it. It just wasn't my movie. And I still gave it that's 4 because it just wasn't for me, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I feel about oh shit, I can't remember the movie now. But yeah, no, that's a good example. It's you can't dock the film because it wasn't for you. If it's doing everything it should be and it's a good movie, you know. But I mean, ultimately, I just kind of like leave it up to gut when I give it a rating. I'm just like, what kind of sounds about right, and then I'll be like, yeah, and then I take into account everything I've sort of processed, and I'm like, yeah,
have
that's
you ever
probably fair.
seen a movie again and would have lowered your rating or given it a higher rating? Is there any time? I know for me, there's a couple, but what about you? Like recently?
Recently, Underwater. Like the first time I saw Underwater, I really did not care for it. But just rewatching it this time around, I was like, you know, it's good. And like I always thought it was a well-made movie. Like the craftsmanship behind it is excellent. But I don't know, I couldn't get into like some of the other stuff. But rewatching it this time, I was like, yeah, it's good. It's a 3-star movie.
Venom, I think Venom's one of the ones that the more I've watched, the more I like it. Upgrade is a big one. I liked Upgrade the first time I saw it. The second time I watched it, I loved Upgrade. I think the two most notable ones in recent memory though is Black Klansman. I did not really like the first time. I appreciated it. I just didn't love it, and I think it's because I hate the beginning. I fucking hate the beginning of that movie still with Alec Baldwin. And I get what Spike Lee was going for at the end of the film with like showing the actual footage. It just kind of took me out of the moment. And I think
it's redundant. Yeah.
But the other one is the movie that I did not really like the first time I watched it was Inglourious Bastards. I liked it. I thought it was fine. And then more rewatches. I mean, that's just become a film that it's one of my favorite Tarantino films now. So it's funny, you know, how that works. Now, when I'm talking about films that I watch again, I'm like, that wasn't as good as I thought. Age of Ultron probably comes to memory on that one.
Yeah.
I think for you, Iron Man 3 although goes up.
Oh yeah, Iron Man 3 is one where I rewatched and the thing took a massive bump. It's like it broke through whatever, and it's like, oh my god, I really love this movie now. So yeah.
All right, and then finish your thought. Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say for me, it's really hard for me to. I was actually just talking about this with a friend. It's easier for me for a film to get better on rewatches than it is for it to get worse on rewatches, unless it's just like super dated. Like, oh, you know what? This is a good example. I rewatched the first Spider-Man, the first Raimi Spider-Man. Good movie, but it just is way too dated and it's silly. So I think I dropped a little bit.
I'm interested to see how the MCU grows. Does it? You know what I mean? Some of these MCU. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I love the Tom Holland right now. I love everything they're doing with it. I don't think these age that well. In 10, 20 years, as much as I love them to death, I think some elements won't age well.
I think it's
like that, but
yeah, I think it's mostly just because there's no real just like flavor to them. There's no like they just feel more like a product than they do
people who love Far From Home, just so everyone knows. Like we loved Far From Home.
Oh yeah, no, I love that movie. Yeah, for sure.
So so I'm going to take two more, guys. If you got to program a triple feature of creature features, which ones would you pick? For me, if you're talking creature features, I would probably does 10 Cloverfield Lanes count? I mean, kind of.
I mean, I guess you could kind of twist it in a way. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I would do 10 Cloverfield Lane would be in there. I'd probably throw it back classic. Got to do Creature from Black Lagoon. And, man, that's tough. Probably The Descent. I love The Descent, man. What about you?
The Descent's really good. I'd probably do Creature from the Black Lagoon for sure. Bela Lugosi Dracula, and then and this is in no particular order, but then probably like The Invisible Man, like Lee Whannell's The Invisible Man.
That movie's fucking perfect, man. I love that. I can't wait for that to come out on Blu-ray. That, and you know what's funny? I was rewatching what movie we were just rewatching the Paranormal Activity movies, like doing a whole rewatch of all of them. Which we did. We watched some with the alternate cuts or the alternate endings. The endings are so wildly different. The last film, did you ever see Ghost Dimensions?
No, I no.
So it's fucking terrible. It's literally so boring. But it's the worst one of them all. And I know they're making another one next year. And I'll give them this. I love how they all tie in. I think that's really fun. But the original ending for that one is they involve time travel and Toby comes to life and ends up killing the family. And it's just, I never liked it. But like, which paranormals have you seen?
I've seen like the first 3.
Okay. Did you ever see 4 with the blonde girl and the Kinect, how they use the Xbox Kinect to like monitor where the demon is.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so there's a little kid in there that they don't explain at all why he's connected. And this alternate ending for the last one actually connected it. And I was like, why didn't you choose this ending? Like it's not straightforward, but it's like kind of odd. Like the more you kind of like watch it, but it's very abrupt. The first 3 are great. Marked ones is actually kind of a big surprise for me. 4 is garbage too. It's 4 is not garbage. I think it's fine, but that last one was terrible. That last one was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
All right, last one I'm going to take, guys. Do you think there is a perfect movie out there? I think there is.
I definitely do. I mean, what would you say is one?
I'm going to give 5. Inception, Wolf of Wall Street, the first Toy Story, the first Incredibles.
First Incredibles is perfect.
And Inception. I'd throw Inception in there.
I think Inception is perfect. People probably wouldn't agree, but I think Apocalypse Now is perfect. I think
perfect.
What'd you say?
2001: A Space Odyssey is perfect too.
2001: A Space Odyssey is perfect. I think Vertigo is perfect. A lot of Hitchcock's
Rear Window,
North by Northwest. Yeah. It's a Wonderful Life. I think It's a Wonderful Life is just
that's actually one of the only, like, there's a couple classics that when you go back and watch, you're like, but that's one of the ones that still holds up. The only one I don't get the hype about is Citizen and Kane. I still don't get it. I like Citizen it.
Yeah,
in this, it's just never been my thing. Someone in the chat threw in The Dark Knight. Pretty much the whole Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
But you know what, guys, that's how we're gonna end this podcast. So thank you guys again so much for watching this. Griffin, where can they all find you at, man?
Yeah, you can head on over to the Filmspeak channel for all the stuff I have going on, and then you can also give me a follow on Twitter. So at Griff Schiller.
Yeah, go follow him, guys. Go hit that like and subscribe, and go watch his latest review for Extraction, because Extraction is a kick-ass movie. You've probably already seen mine, so now you need to go check out his for why you need to see Extraction, because if you don't, if you like John Wick, there's not a single reason why you should not watch this movie, because
also it's a new movie. It's a new movie and it's on Netflix. Just go watch it. Watch it.
Have fun with it. Have fun with it, guys. But thank you guys again so much for watching this. Of course, make sure again hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below if you're watching this on the replay. Leave me some questions for next week. Of course, I'll be bringing on another guest as long as my work is still not opened up, because I need stuff to do every Saturday morning since I'm not there. And just so you guys know, there will not be an Ask Me Anything tomorrow. What will be going on tomorrow is I'm going to be going live over on Ren Geekness's channel, which you can find in the description below as well, where we will be watching Avengers Endgame. Since it's the 1-year anniversary, thought it'd be fun to kind of watch it again and give our fun little commentary on that. So I hope to see you guys over there. And of course, until next time, stay classy.